Today on the show, we're going to talk about Sony and them saying that Xbox's offer to keep Call of Duty on the platform, Court, it's inadequate. So we're going to talk about that today on the show. Court, it's a little indie game. It's called Call of Duty, Call to the Duty of People, Bang Bang Pew Pew, and it has been on platforms across the board for generations. Children have been born, other kids have been born, people have grown up.
The game's old, let's be honest. It was a PC game, then it was the big thing on Xbox 360, and it's one of the biggest games in the world.
Nah,
and Phil Spencer has said over and over again that he wanted to make it available for several more years on PlayStation. He never said it was going to stay there forever, but he did say several more years. So what happened was Jim Ryan got a little bit upset about that. And he said, and I quote, "I hadn't intended to comment on what I understood to be a private business discussion, but I feel the need to set the record straight because Phil Spencer brought this into the public forum. Microsoft has only offered for Call of Duty to remain on the PlayStation for 3 more years after the current agreement between Activision and Sony ends." The agreement actually, and the article goes in, it's on, we'll have it in the in down below, Video Games Chronicle. It ends up being 5 years. So they are willing to extend it for 3, and right now they've got 2 more year deals, 2 more years on the deal that PlayStation has with Call of Duty and Activision. The way I look at it this way, he has to do this. He's Jim Ryan. Everybody can get mad at Jim Ryan for saying this, but he's trying to do the public opinion thing here. I think he's just going about it the wrong way. It's one of the biggest games. He wants to keep it on here. But I also think it's very hypocritical of him to say, just based on some of the things that has happened with Sony that we found out during that whole Apple thing. And we found out like Sony charges an exorbitant amount of money if they wanted a game to be crossplay. They will pay companies to not put their game on Game Pass.
Yep.
All these things that we found out they're doing. They have an exclusivity deal with Final Fantasy, which is one of the biggest RPGs. I'm not comparing it to Call of Duty. People can get mad in the comments. Call of Duty is too big. It's hard to compare a game to it. But when you have these games that they have already done this to, and then you're getting mad about Call of Duty, it's just like, whatever, dude. You just bought Bungie. You have Destiny 2 now. Make that your thing. And if you make that PlayStation exclusive, you're even a bigger hypocrite. And no one is saying that this game is going to be Xbox exclusive. It could be. Who knows? But right now, Phil Spencer is saying it's not going to be. And if it's that big, why would it be? You can have Diablo, put that all. But you know what? Let PlayStation people buy it, but it's going to be on Game Pass.
It's the Video Game Chronicle article says too, Court, that the current deal Call of Duty between Sony and Activision Blizzard is believed to cover this year's Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 and a new game from Black Ops developer Treyarch, which may not arrive until 2024. Do you think... So there's a good chance that we get this round of Call of Duty games across everything. I do agree with you that Jim Ryan's probably going about this the wrong way from a PR perspective, because Phil Spencer typically has that down on lock of presenting very goodwill, gamer-friendly, consumer-friendly things and statements and public statements. I think he's just got that thing figured out because I think Phil's not necessarily going to respond to this stuff, but he can easily just say very generically that, like, well, we want our games on everything. We want Call of Duty to be accessible for all players.
Exactly.
That's all he has to say. And then Sony can still just get mad about it, but I agree with you. It's hypocritical for them to come out and say it's not fair, essentially, that Microsoft has this and that it won't be after our initial deal expires, that it may not be on Sony. That's not fair to players. You're like, why don't you just make Destiny, the Bungie games, the future IPs of Bungie, your Call of Duty?
I also think there's going to be a deal made. Like, let's be real here.
Yeah.
Like, they don't seem to care. Like, everybody's like, oh, they want to stop the Activision Blizzard deal. Sony doesn't care about the Activision Blizzard deal. They care about Call of Duty and nothing else.
They might even just
look at their sales since Call of Duty. Call of Duty is one of the number 1 selling games on the PlayStation platform. They look at, we don't want to lose that revenue.
Like,
and
Warzone
I
is
don't know
free.
why Microsoft would want to lose that revenue.
No, not at all. And Warzone, my point was going to say is that Warzone is free to play. You could battle pass it and all that crap. But you could, if you're Microsoft and the Sony deal is kind of why don't you just say, okay, you don't get Modern Warfare 2 single player campaign. You're not getting our Black Ops single player experience. Those are Game Pass PC exclusives. But Warzone, we'll make it on everything. And then maybe that's what they end up getting, Sony gets, because it's a free-to-play model that everyone can say, we got Call of Duty, but you want that campaign experience? Well, it's going to be over on Xbox. That, to me, I'm like, that's a win for Microsoft. I'm with you, though, at the same time, that if I'm Phil, like, I want the full game experience on everything. And Sony's going to pay whatever they're going to pay for it to make that happen.
But you want a day and date on Game Pass.
Yes. And maybe some perks and stuff too. And I agree with you that you could make your Diablos, your Overwatches Game Pass exclusives and not come to Sony. It doesn't have to be everything. But Call of Duty is in a league of its own.
I think so too. But you know what? Microsoft could make a choice 5 years from now and be like, nope, this is Xbox exclusive. And this is all hindering on this actually happening.
Yeah.
Like we're seeing a lot of things that you and I we're not privy to. We're not experts on this. We're reading what people write about and we're making an opinion about it. But you look at what is being said by the SEC and they want to do a bigger investigation in this in the UK because you hear a lot. It seems like they're like, well, don't want to hurt Sony. It's very interesting as someone who, I do a PlayStation podcast and I play on PlayStation, I play on Xbox. I don't care. I don't really play Call of Duty. So this game doesn't matter to me, but I find it weird, the politicking that you see going back and forth, like Sony acting like they're not number one in the marketplace when they are. And they're like, oh, this would devastate us. Like, I don't understand. I get them saying what they've got to say what they want to say. But I think what probably will happen when this all boils down, the SEC and everybody will be like, you want to do this deal? Here's the deal. You have to put in here that you will always keep this game on PlayStation. And if you're Sony, you're like, if you're Microsoft, you're like, all right, fine. If that's the thing that's going to make this deal happen, sure. But that's when you do the Call of Duty is day and day on Game Pass. All the DLC drops early on Game Pass. This boom, boom, boom. Everything drops early on Xbox and you make everything, you put exclusivity in the game into Xbox. And then you're going to bring that base back over because everybody keeps saying this is a PlayStation game, but I think people forget, and maybe they're just not old enough to remember, that during the Xbox 360 era, this was an Xbox. Man. It was
Modern Warfare
associated, all Xbox.
And I'm sorry too, like I go with like the casual players, your casual 3 games a year player, Call of Duty, Madden, and like Forza. Like I'm just talking your pure Xbox Gears, right? Halo. Like the casual player that picks it up here and there, I think they always played traditionally like Xbox. That's where it kind of stemmed from. And as PCs is gigantic. And I'm not discrediting that there's a massive Sony audience. But yeah, like, maybe the deal like in there, like you're saying, is like, well, it's going to be maybe the next round of games. Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, the next Black Ops. Yeah, we'll make that up. That will be on Sony. We'll do that. That's through 2025, let's say. And then we'll see, because they're going to wait another 3 years, 4 years to drop another game.
And the games will still, we know they're going to be on Game Pass. So if you own both consoles, are you going to buy it on Sony? Because if Microsoft is smart, the game's cross-play, so it doesn't matter what platform you're on. And it's day and date on Game Pass.
Oh, also with that, you just made me think of something. Your Microsoft, you make this deal happens. Let's assume it's all good, green lit, and as soon as it's all dotted, inked, ready to go, Microsoft gets to turn around and say, and here's your Call of Duty collection on Game Pass. Here are 5 titles that we're going to put on Game Pass for you, and they can go back and they can turn around like they do with so many games now, and they go, here is your Call of Duty collection, 60 frames per second, 4K HDR, we've up-res, we've retouched stuff, you're good to go. Play these epic campaigns, put them all in a giant... Look what we did with the Halo Master Chief collection. That was a issue when it came out originally. But they've done it with Halo. They have done it with Gears, where we've seen them come to Game Pass and gotten them retouched and up-res and so on. There's nothing stopping them from doing it. That to me is also another incentive for players, casual players or hardcore, to say, I want to go back and play the original Modern Warfare campaign. It's an 8-hour, 10-hour experience. I love that thing. Let me go play it. Oh, they've redone it again. They've HDR'd it and up-res it. Yeah, I'm going to go play it over on Game Pass. The only thing differentiator is like, well, Sony has it too. And you're going, yeah, but Now my whole Call of Duty world is on Xbox. And you get all those older games and the current new ones all working, talking to each other, your battle passes, incentives, DLC perks, all of that working on the Xbox side. That
100% agree.
That can take away from the Sony player or the person that might say, I just got to get a Series S, or I can play on my current PC if I wanted to.
They're trying to sell Game Pass. That's what Microsoft's thing is. Yes. They're trying to sell Game Pass.
Yes.
And Sony's still in the mind of, we want to sell games. And they're going to do a great job. I just finished The Last of Us Part 1.
Yep.
Game's amazing. God of War's coming out. Can't wait to play it. But I think what this will do is this will force Sony's hand down the road, not now, but down the road, to put their games day and date to compete on Game Pass. And we're going to see more of this. If this deal goes through, and the deal hasn't guaranteed it's going to go through, but if this deal goes through and they get the Activision Blizzard thing done, what we're going to see is we're going to see Sony go out and buy another studio. We're going to see Microsoft go out and try and buy another studio. It's just going to continue to try and build up their library on their streaming service. That's what is there.
100%.
That's the new future. That's what's going to happen. And I know people have their loyalties to their Sony or their Xbox. I just like playing games. I don't care where they are. I'll just play where the best version of the game is. I don't care.
Yeah, because if Ragnarok was Sony only, fine. I will play it on my PS5. If it was on, I know, but if it was on Xbox too, I play it on Xbox just for a better experience or whatever. It just, I play where the game is. That's what I'll do, and I'll figure out a way to get it. But anyways, let us know in the comments below what do you guys think about the Xbox deal and PlayStation's thoughts on the game, on the deal being inadequate. He's got his little dress and a tizzy there, Court. He's not happy about it. Not a fan. Let us know what you think. See you on the next episode. Bye.